Beautiful day for a ball game in Chicago. This is game number 2 of 3 between the AL Central compatriots, the Minnesota Twins, and the White Sox. Thanks for joining us once again. Jason Benetti, Steve Stone along with you. Sox last night put up 6 hits, and Tim Anderson had a third of those, once again continuing the multi-hit parade for him.
Tim Anderson has been a revelation since coming up to the major leagues, and in 17 games he has certainly made his mark. He's hit the ball hard. He's hit it out of the ballpark. He has 8 multi-hit games, 9 extra base hits, and he scored 13 runs, which is what you want a leadoff hitter to do. So all in all, when you factor in the defense and the base stealing, Tim Anderson has been just terrific. He's hitting .286 and pushing Adam Eaton to the 2 spot. It's a great 1-2, setting it up for the guys in the middle, and if they can get the job done, we're going to score some runs.
On the mound tonight for the Sox is James Shields, who by basically any metric is coming off his best performance in Chicago.
I thought last time out he looked very good as he faced the Red Sox and handled a very potent lineup. Shields went into the 6th inning. He gave up just 3 earned runs on 5 hits. Walked a couple in that 6th, but left the ball game, and he threw it well. Even though he's winless in 4 starts with the Sox, he made some great progress last time out, and hopefully he carries it over. Ricky Nolasco on the other side of the page was absolutely pasted on May 6th. 5 innings, 9 hits, 7 runs, 5 of them earned. And lifetime, he's really struggled against our Sox, so it should be a pretty good matchup tonight. I think Shields is going to throw a bit better. Hopefully he throws like he did in Boston.
Sox have handled the Twins pretty well for the year, with the exception being last night. 6-1, the record against Minnesota this season. Sox try to level the series coming up after this from 35th and Shields.
Chicago is brought to you in part by Toyota. Discover more in a Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com or your local Toyota dealer today. Let's go places. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. Audi. Truth in engineering. And by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV.
Spectacular night for our national pastime here at U.S. Cellular Field. This is game number 2 of a 3-game series between the Sox and Twins. Sox concluding a 6-game homestand with an off day in between after winning the series against the Toronto Blue Jays. And they will turn to James Shields this evening off his best start of the season on that road trip to Boston. Here's the starting lineup for Paul Molitor's Twins. They hit .245 as a club. That's 23rd in Major League Baseball. Nunez has had a very nice career against James Shields, and he is hitting the ball well recently. Brian Dozier provided all of the offense last night with 2 homers and 4 knocked in.
Our Cricket Wireless defensive setup, and Al Robin is going to set him up tonight. Avi Garcia getting a look in left field with Melky Cabrera out of the lineup. Then it's Chuck and Eaton in the outfield. Saladino, Anderson, Brett Lawrie, Todd Frazier at first base tonight with Deanna Navarro getting the nod behind the plate. And our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is James Shields. 15 starts combined with San Diego and our Sox, 2-9, ERA just over 6. And last time he was much more aggressive. He was getting ahead and throwing a few more curveballs, and it worked very well for him. So looking for some magic here tonight. And we'll take a look at who's going to be the arbiters tonight. Ron Culpa behind the plate. Chris Conroy is at first. The crew chief Jerry Meals at second, and Sean Barber is at third.
Well, the Sox against the AL Central this year have their worst record against any division. That includes the National League. In interleague play, they're 3-3. 6 of those wins have come against Minnesota. So against the remaining 3 teams, the Sox are 6-18 versus the division, and just 3-16 in their last 19 against the Central, something that Robin Ventura would like to turn around. He's at .335 up and .390 down as the Sox manager. And on the other side, Paul Molitor, they had such a strong season last year, the Twins. It looked like they were trending upward, and a really rough start to this season has left him 25-51, but one of the hit kings in Major League Baseball with 3,300 plus. Certainly knows how to swing the bat.
And some bad news for one of those division foes that the Sox are going to face. Kansas City put Lorenzo Cain on the disabled list with a bad hamstring, and there's no telling when he's going to be back. So for them, that is a huge loss.
Sox enter play today, 8.5 back of Cleveland as James Shields fires in a strike to Eduardo Nunez, who's one of the top 20 hitters in Major League Baseball at .311 so far through June 28th. That ball is well hit to left field, and Avi Garcia could only watch it fly. Eduardo Nunez, a leadoff home run tonight, 1-0 Twins.
One of the things that James Shields did not do in Boston was throw high fastballs over the middle of the plate, and unfortunately he did it there. That's the 11th home run of the year, and now Nunez has 30 driven in. So he continues his red-hot hitting as we take a look at a Ford home run replay. You saw where Deanna Navarro wanted it. He wanted it low and away. Instead, this one was up and out over the plate, and Nunez, who's been swinging it well, hits this one a long way.
What do you say we start over?
Could be a do-over.
You get one of those a year, right? Is that how it goes? Strike to Robbie Grossman, switch hitter, going left against Shields.
You have to figure the way the Sox have handled Nolasco, one run is not going to win this, so hopefully James will settle down and retire the Twins without any more trouble in his first inning.
Check swing, and he did go around. Strike 3 to Grossman. 3 pitches, 1 out.
You get ahead of hitters, then that changeup looks that much better. And ahead 0-2, he throws a good change. That has been his best pitch for a long time. This one diving away from Grossman. He couldn't check his swing. The appeal to Sean Barber. And he said he went a little too far.
We saw last night Kyle Gibson threw a lot of changeups against the Sox.
And his changeup was effective even when it was in the zone.
Fastball strike to Joe Mauer, who walked and scored in front of that 3-run homer for Dozier last night that put the game out of reach eventually.
Outfield playing him a couple of steps to left center field.
Up the middle, Anderson roving behind the bag for out number 2.
Well positioned for Joe Mauer because he went right back up the middle over the head of James Shields, and Tim Anderson right there. See where he's positioned. That one actually getting right next to the glove of Shields. Fortunately, he did not deflect it, and Mauer is out. And Anderson, who's made great strides in the field. Didn't look great in spring training defensively. He's looked outstanding since he's come up to the major leagues.
Brian Dozier takes a fastball off the plate. Well, this is the guy that you don't want to hurt you in the Twins lineup.
No.
Not only because of last night, but because of the way he was hitting the ball entering this series. Now on a 10-game hit streak and a 9-game extra base hit streak.
As you can see, during that streak, hitting .439 with 5 homers. The thing with Dozier is he's going to get the 3-0 green light here, and he is a pull hitter normally. You see the infield, the way they play him, he is a dead pull hitter and can hit it a long way.
You would imagine on 3-0 if that's closer to the middle of the plate.
Oh, I'm sure
he's going to go.
I'm sure he had the 3-0 green light. It doesn't mean a must swing. It means that you zone hit. And I think that's kind of the misnomer for a lot of fans who believe the 3-0 green light is swing it wherever it is. Hitters will zone hit. If they want the ball middle in, belt lower, they'll wait for that particular zone. Anything else they won't swing at.
3-2. So Dozier 3 for 4 last night. His average up to 259 from 227 when this streak started.
And James has stayed away with everything this at bat. He's going to go away with the fastball here.
And he misses. 4-4.
One of the problems with putting Dozier on is during the course of his career, he's always had power. And he'll always steal a base. Now, he's not quite as aggressive this year as he has been, but he's 6 out of 6 in stolen bases as Don Cooper looks on. One of the things he talked to James about was occasionally throwing fastballs inside, maybe inside off the plate if you get ahead. This Twin team, 51 steals. They've only been caught 16 times. And Shields has a great move to first base.
Right center field, J.B. Shuck can't get there. Dozier to third to a stop sign. And Trevor Plouffe puts runners at the corners with 2 down.
Well, Gene Glenn realized this ball was hard hit and didn't get away far enough from J.B. Shuck to take a chance with Dozier. It's a fastball. It's pretty much down the middle, and Plouffe hits a line drive. Shuck does a good job of making sure that ball doesn't get by him. And it didn't get far enough away as Glenn put on the stop sign. And credit Dozier with some good base running because he didn't stop until he saw Gene Glenn throw up his hands.
An accomplished basketball player. Growing up, Gene Glenn, a former Mr. Basketball in the state of Minnesota.
He's really a terrific guy. He's been around a long time. One of the better coaches around, and now coaching third base for this Twin team. We have crossed paths many times during his illustrious career and my career.
Throw to first. You know, Gene Glenn was one of the first 2 Mr. Basketballs in Minnesota. The other, he was 1. McHale was number 2. Kevin McHale.
Kevin McHale turned into one superlative basketball player.
Kepler line drive right field. Adam Eaton skates over. And no more damage done to James Shields. Leadoff home run, the second of the career of Eduardo Nunez. It's 1-0. try to change that course today with Anderson, Eaton, and Abreu DHing. Melky Cabrera is out of the lineup, so Garcia is into left. Melky out with a wrist injury. Brett Lawrie has been the hot hitter for the White Sox, 10 for his last 20.
Let's take a look at the Cricket wireless defensive setup for these Twins. Grossman, Buxton, Kepler in the outfield with Nunez, Escobar, Dozier, and Maurer in the infield. Kurt Suzuki behind the plate, and at the plate, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Ricky Nolasco. 3-5, ERA up close to 5.
Nolasco, first pitch, strike to Tim Anderson, who was 2 for 4 last night with yet another multi-hit game. He has 7 2-hit games and 1 3-hit game. And he takes a breaking ball strike.
That's probably the best pitch for Nolasco, and that's that curveball. And now that he's got a little more velocity on his fastball, the curveball's gotten better.
3-pitch strikeout for Anderson to lead the game off for the Sox offense.
Tim saw a couple of strikes, and then Nolasco threw a hard breaking ball. Looked more like a slider than a curveball. He's got both. And a nice pick by Kurt Suzuki, leaving it up to Adam Eaton.
.333 career against Nolasco, 6 for 18 for Eaton. And you mentioned that first start for Ricky Nolasco against the Sox. That was, to that date, his shortest outing of the year. He went 2 2/3 on May 23rd against Kansas City. But the Sox got rid of him pretty early that night, part of the 3-game sweep back in May.
These days he's throwing it a little bit harder. But Nolasco's biggest problem, not necessarily to the left-handers, but his biggest problem is consistently staying away from the right-handers. And if you throw a lot of sliders and curveballs, you're throwing your fastball away also. You're giving them one spot to look at.
Breaking ball there for strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts, 7 pitches, 6 strikes for Nolasco. Time for our picks to click for this evening. Steve tried to petition to take Melky Cabrera anyway, despite him being out of the lineup. Instead, Deoner Navarro goes that way. Adam Eaton for the Crew, and I'll take Tyler Saladino in the 9 spot tonight.
This pick-to-click race is bunching up.
It is.
It's becoming hotly contested.
You're saying it wasn't very well contested early in the season?
Well, I just felt that you hadn't caught your stride yet. Now it seems like you just win every day.
Every day is a win when I get to sit next to you.
Yeah, any Alka-Seltzer you have somewhere? But thanks.
1 strike on Abreu, who took Nolasco deep in the last meeting between these two.
He's only thrown 1 pitch out of the zone. You see, against Nolasco, Jose's been very good over the course of his career, although it's been brief. Just 11 at bats. Nolasco's curveball looks pretty good in the early going.
2 strikes to Abreu.
There's an example. Suzuki wanted that fastball inside. That's not the strong suit for Nolasco. So in trying to get it in, he just threw it almost right into the ground off the front of the plate. He does not go in well and doesn't appear to like to go in too often.
1-2. Setup is way outside. Slider, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the arsenal.
Fastball 48% of the time, with a slider 33%, the curveball 12%, and split finger not all that often. And that's probably a good thing if you're throwing a lot of curves and sliders. You add a split and you throw it often, you're probably going to have some elbow difficulties.
To third, and Nunez. They go in order for Nolasco in the first inning. It's 1-0 Twins after 1. Happy National Camera Day to our entire crew. Mike Meyer, Frank DeMonto, John Dickinson, Tom Hoover, Greg Silas, Jamie Bath in your Brady Bunch boxes there, and Wynn Griffiths as well are 7. Not on the screen at the outset. Thanks to all of those gentlemen who do such a fantastic job for us day in and day out, capturing Sox games, and frankly everybody who's been on the camera crew. Some of the folks are not here tonight to celebrate National Camera Day with us. All we were missing was Ann B. Davis in the middle.
Secret square. Very nice.
Paul Lind to block, please. Eduardo Escobar yanks it on the ground. Laurie ranges over. 1 down. Hey, you can follow Dan Hayes, our White Sox insider, all season long on CSNChicago.com. Presented by The Great Escape. Pools, patio furniture, hot tubs, and more. Escape your everyday. Shop The Great Escape. Dan Hayes was going to come up and say hello to us, but he was wearing the same colored shirt as we are. So we said, scram, we can't have that. We'll talk to you next time.
Dan Hayes is able to get some pretty good stories.
In the air right side, Adam Eaton drifting back, still going. Adams there, as he usually is. 2 down in this second inning.
Shows you which way the ball is going to carry, because that one was off the end of the bat. And when you look at the flags, it's blowing toward the right field corner. That one drifted a long way. Suzuki doesn't have a lot of opposite field power, but you take a look at which way the wind is blowing per those flags, and that one drifted just about 330 feet. Fortunately, it's 335 down the line.
2 out for the speedy Buxton. You mentioned, according to those flags, that's the way the wind's blowing. What's your read, having seen a lot of games in this ballpark, on how the wind plays?
The wind shifts a lot. And because it does come in at times and swirl with the configuration of the stands out toward right field, that's one of the things that happened. The other day when the park was real lively, when the Sox hit 7 home runs, it was a wind tunnel to left or left center.
2 balls and a strike on Buxton, who nearly got clipped with that one.
Buxton's got such great speed and is such a good base stealer that you wonder why he doesn't bunt more, but right now still trying to find his way. He's been the #1 prospect in the minor leagues for quite some time before getting his shot.
Well, you mentioned the minors. The Twins have Miguel Sano right now playing both third base and right field in AAA with Rochester.
Sano's got big power.
Anderson retires the side. Shields a 1-2-3 inning. Bottom 2 coming next. What do you think?
I would think so.
That Denzel Valentine get a nacho or two where he was.
I think you can get most anything.
Born and raised, 14th overall pick in the NBA draft this year. Just a couple of weeks ago, the Big Ten Player of the Year, the AP Player of the Year. Got it to the plate and then some. One of the best leaders that Tom Izzo says he has ever had at Michigan State, and that includes a lot of guys, the Mateen Cleaveses of the world, among others.
And we're going to have him up here in the third inning.
Frazier lifts it to right. Max Kepler for the first out. We were on the air in spring training when Michigan State was knocked out of the NCAA tournament by Middle Tennessee State. That was a huge surprise. A lot of folks thought Michigan State should have been a 1 seed. Valentine was the key leader on that team. He played multiple positions, and we'll chat with him about coming to the Bulls.
After talking with Jerry Reinsdorf about that pick, he was surprised Valentine was still there and ecstatic that the Bulls were able to pick him.
On a first pitch swinging tonight for the Sox, Navarro down 0-1.
Well, through all the problems of Nolasco, he's got excellent control. He's around the plate with most everything. And so the scouting report said he's not going to throw you too many balls. He's not going to walk you very much. He's walked just 18 and now 92 plus innings. He will throw some home runs, though. He's thrown 11 of them.
Tough to turn that one around. 2 balls and a strike on Navarro, who didn't play yesterday.
Let's take a look. You get hit by that one, even if it's on a hop, you wind up at first base. Also, if you hit it and get a base hit, it is a hit.
In the air, the center fielder Buxton is camped for out number 2. Ichiro been pretty good at that over the course of his career, hitting the one hopper. That's in the Vlad Guerrero strike zone as well.
Ichiro, Vlad Guerrero was one of those guys who did the same thing and had the ability to do that, whereas Vlad hit him every which way, over his head.
2 out for Laurie, who was 2 for 4. He had 2 of the 6 hits. Anderson had 2 of the 6 hits last night. Nolasco pumps in strike number 1. Brett had a tremendous series against the Blue Jays, his former mate, 6 for 12. So on the homestand, he is 8 for 16 and has worn out the Twins as well.
Those are gaudy numbers. We talk about BABIP a lot, which is batting average on balls in play for Nolasco over the last 2 months. It's .368. That's well above league average. League average is .297, and that's well down in the list of starting pitchers.
That ball's hit hard by Laurie, deep right field, and this ball game is tied. That ball was not in play. It's 1-1.
That's home run number 11. He's now driven in 31. And our forward home run replay will show you that this ball is down. It's away from Laurie. He usually likes the ball up high. But we told you Nolasco is prone to give up the long ball, and that is the 12th he's given up. Very surprised fan, not able to make the catch, but he does secure his beverage. Boy, it looks like Snellius time to me.
That home run means that there is another generous donation from the Alex Snellius family in loving memory of Ursula. They're going to start calling the Laurie home run the Denzel Valentine effect. He just walked into our booth and the Sox have tied the game. We'll hear from him in the top of the 3rd, which may take a little while. J.B. Shuck lines it to right, and a 2-out rally bubbling up for the Sox.
Sox fans, we want to hear from you throughout the game. Use the hashtag White Sox Talk on Twitter And be sure to follow at CSN White Sox all season long for the latest news on your favorite team. He just reached down and got that off-speed pitch. And Avi playing left field for the first time in a long time, getting his opportunity to hit as Greg Sparks talks to an elated Brett Lawrie.
Sox assistant hitting coach. Garcia takes ball one. You mentioned left field, first time in a long time for Avi Garcia. Last record I can find is May 12th, 2013 in AAA with the Toledo Mud Hens.
He's always had such a great arm that he was put in right field. That's where we saw him when he played with the Tigers. That's where he's played from here.
There goes Shuck, and there's no throw. The Sox absolutely abused Suzuki last night and have a steal early this evening.
That has little to do with Suzuki and a lot to do with Nolasco, who doesn't look at him at all, and JB just takes off, and you can see wisely Avi just took it because he went in uncontested.
Garcia smacks it to left. Shuck waved around. Grossman the throw. It is off the runner. He is safe. It is 2-1. Avi with a heads-up play in the third.
Joe McEwing knows that they're going to run on Robbie Grossman every chance they got. Now, this looked like it had a chance to be a close play, but not when it hit. It looked like it hit off the heel of J.B. Shuck. And as it kicked away, and that is going to be an error on Grossman, Garcia all the way to third. So he hits this ball awfully hard. And Grossman has all the best of it. He comes in. He actually had the ball before J.B. Shuck hit third base.
So scored a single, an RBI, and E7, bringing up Saladino to continue the Sox fun in the second inning.
Stolen base and the lack of attention that Nolasco paid to J.B. Shuck comes back to burn him.
Fastball strike to Saladino, 0-2.
It's not that stolen base. That ball's hit so hard that it's runners at first and second. And 2 outs, and all this coming with 2 outs and nobody on.
Home run, single, steal, RBI single, error. Now Saladino. Slow breaking ball up and in.
The ball just rolled off the fingers of Nolasco. He's always had problems with the Sox. His ERA, lifetime up over 6.
That includes his first loss this season, first week of May. Fouled off of Saladino. One and two from Nolasco. Escobar comes forward and throws out Saladino, ending the inning. But it all started with Brett Lawrie. Solo home run, his 11th long ball. It's 2-1 Sox.
Select Denzel Valentine from Michigan State University.
That's a happy man right there. Michigan State's finest Denzel Valentine getting to meet the commissioner, Commissioner Silver, and he is here with us. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Blessed to be here. Blessed to be here.
Fantastic college career. What does it mean to get drafted so high and be here in Chicago?
Yeah, it's a great feeling. You know, it's to be drafted to an organization like the Bulls. Winning matters. You know, the greatest player ever played there. So I mean, I can only ask for a better situation.
You played a lot of positions this year for Tom Izzo. At some point, a little shooting guard. Where do you feel most comfortable, and where do you think you'll fit in with the Bulls?
I think it's going to be the same thing because I feel like the rotation that we have and the way that Coach Hoiberg wants to play, I feel like I'm going to be really interchangeable, and he likes my versatility, and so we're going to see. I mean, I feel comfortable playing all positions, but we'll see.
You played for such a legendary coach. What was a couple of things that Tom Izzo imparted to you in your years at Michigan State?
Just that, stay goal-driven, stay goal-focused. Keep this, basketball, and number one, just stay focused, stay goal-driven, and everything else will, work its way into play.
All right. So when he's really mad on the sideline, what's that like?
Pretty much what it looks like. I mean, he's an intense coach. He's passionate, but you gotta love him for it, man. He really cares, and he wants to see you succeed and do good. So that's why I love him.
On the ground and up the middle through for Nunez, who homered earlier to give the Twins their only run. I had a couple of your games this year, and Coach Izzo said to me that you were one of the best leaders he's ever had. What does that mean to you coming through that type of program?
I mean, he's had a lot of great leaders. He's coached a lot of great leaders, been around a lot of great leaders. Magic Johnson, Draymond, Travis Walton, Mateen Cleaves. I can go down the list. But to even be mentioned with those guys is a blessing to me, and I'm just, happy. He was my coach, and he was able to guide me through that and teach me some of his things.
What was the feeling for you going head-to-head when you guys played Michigan?
I mean, it's a great feeling, watching, coming up, especially, being from the Lansing area, watching those Michigan rivalries. My dad playing for Michigan State in the 80s, and my mom being a huge Michigan State fan, and it was a great game. I loved playing them. It was, everybody was going to come out and play their best game, so it was a good time playing them.
What does it mean to your family, draft day?
I mean, it meant a lot. I mean, my dad was a step away playing in the NBA, so, my brother, had a chance to play too. So, I mean, for them, to see me, put so much work into me, and of course my mom as well too. They put so much work into me, and then to see it, finally pay off. I know this is a start, but it's a great start.
Hey, what's the NCAA tournament like for a college basketball player?
Oh, I mean, it's everything you want to play in. You got, everybody's filling out their brackets. Everybody is telling you, I got you, picked in our bracket and things like that. So, it's a great time playing in the NCAA tournament.
How much have you talked to Fred Hoiberg about the Bulls, and how much do you know about the organization?
I've talked to him the last, couple of days, and, we've gone over a few things. He's watched me, work out a little bit. And
already, huh?
Yeah, already. We're trying to hit the ground running. So, Coach Hoiberg is a great coach, obviously, and can't wait to play for him.
Did you ever play against him when he was at Iowa State?
No, but I always admired playing for him, and I've always admired his coaching style. So, definitely love the situation I'm in right now.
So look ahead for the next, let's say, 2 months. What's it going to be like for you? Tell our fans what your plans are, what you're going to do.
Definitely Summer League is coming up in Las Vegas, so I'm going to be playing in that. And then I got invited to play with the U.S. Select Team, against the USA national team. So I'll be playing in that at the end of July. And after that, I got a camp going on in Lansing, Michigan. Then I'll probably be coming down here, moving in, and ready to get things started.
Who are you most excited to play against in the NBA?
I'm excited, honestly, to play against the superstars. I like competition. I like, seeing where I'm at. I like going against the best of the best. So can't wait to play against superstars.
Well, you're going to run into a few, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
For sure. I can't wait for it. That's what the NBA is all about.
Line drive to center for Grossman on 2 strikes, so 2 on for the Twins. Who was the toughest player for you to guard in your college career?
Probably Shabazz Napier when he went on his run his senior year and won the national championship. He was tough, man. He was determined that year. And probably Damian Lee from Louisville this year he was a tough player too.
Hey, on Napier, I know that when Coach Calhoun and I were in town, you got to sit down with him and ask about some of those guards. What did he tell you?
He just told me that he wouldn't give up. I mean, he just led those guys every single day. He was tenacious. He was tough. He just did everything the team needed him to do to win, and we had great conversations about that.
2 on and a strike to Joe Mauer. You a baseball fan? You grew up a baseball fan? A little bit?
Man, not really. My dad always, acts like he knows what's going on with baseball. But I like coming out to ball games and.
You can throw out a first pitch now.
It was a little high. I feel like if I'd have got some more practice, I would have.
Oh, the Denzel Valentine excuse machine is starting up here.
You know what? Hey, put me in the bullpen. I might go out there and throw a 94-mile fastball.
You really shouldn't say that because it just might happen. Things, our bullpen guys are a little tired. They might be calling on you.
Hey,
so
that's what I'm saying. They seen the pitch. Might have to give me a shot.
I like that. You ever play other sports?
Football.
You did?
From when I started like 5 till like freshman in high school.
Who's your favorite player in the NBA?
Draymond
Yeah?
Green.
You got to say that? Does Coach Izzo tell you to say that?
No, I just I just love the intensity he plays with. He brings it every night, no matter who he's playing against. And I just love his intensity, and he's a winner. That's what I like.
Did you talk to him at all? How much did you talk to him?
Yeah, I talk to him, frequently. He's a great guy.
did you ask him what it was like to go from the college basketball schedule to the professional basketball schedule?
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously they play a lot more games. Ooh.
Could be 2.
Ooh.
And it is.
Okay. Go. Hey, I might be a White Sox fan now.
How about it?
I might be a White Sox fan. They get the hat, the jersey, they hooked it up.
That's right. And you look good in it, too.
Go
you
Sox.
Can pull off the Sox colors.
Go Sox.
It looks good.
It looks good.
Got the 45 there.
Am I official?
You're official. You're officially official Chicago now.
I might be a White Sox fan.
I like that.
Well, you're going to love this city. I do know that. And quite obviously, the gentleman who owns the White Sox also happens to own the Bulls.
Yeah.
So it would behoove you to be a White Sox fan.
Hey, I might jump on the bandwagon.
A little bit like a young Carlos Lee there. Carlos Lee wore 45 for the White Sox.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He
Yeah,
hit some homers.
I saw the pitcher down there.
Yeah.
Yep. You said he was a pitcher?
No, Carlos was
outfielder.
an exceptional
outfielder.
hitter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And could hit them a long way.
You know, when he was playing baseball for a time, Michael Jordan wore 45 as well.
Yeah, I've been getting all types of comments on Twitter and Instagram. Hey, I'm not wearing 45 because of Michael Jordan. I wore that in college because my dad played at Michigan State, and he wore 45.
What position?
He was a power forward. Yeah, so I wore that jersey to honor my dad.
Yep.
So I'm not out here trying to disrespect anybody, but
well, now everybody's heard it. Now they know. Shields is there to throw him out and end the inning. Dozier retired off the bunt. Hey, great thanks.
Oh, thank you.
Denzel Valentine joining us.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
First pick of the Bulls this year, and best of luck to him. 2-1 your score after 2.5. In July, Friday, July 22nd, purchase a specially priced game ticket and receive a voucher for a White Sox Santa hat. Christmas-themed events will take place during the game throughout the ballpark. Also, stay for the post-game fireworks set to Christmas music. To purchase this ticket package, visit whitesox.com/Xmas. That's short for Christmas.
Very short.
Strike one to Anderson from Nolasco, who, when the Sox saw him first time around, he was pitching away to the right-handed hitters, just like he's done to Tim Anderson in this trip up. And down goes Anderson for strike three.
Same situation the first time up, threw him a couple of strikes and then went way out of the zone, and I think that Tim Anderson's going to start seeing a whole lot of that particular approach as he gets around the league, that he swings at just about everything. I think he's done remarkably when you consider no walks. He came in hitting .286.
How do you adjust then as a young hitter to that pitch?
Well, right now they're not going to do anything with him. They're going to let him go until things move along a little bit. He hasn't had any failure in the major leagues yet, so if he keeps hitting the pitches that are hittable, and you usually get one, sometimes two per at bat, make sure that you're getting the good part of the bat on it. He hits the ball so hard that it works out well for him. So as long as he's doing that, they're not going to say, look, be more selective, do this, do that. They're going to let it play out and then see how it works out for him. Eventually then, if things are not working out well, that's when you start to change something.
2 strikes on Eaton. A superhero night shirt. Were you here on superhero night? You had to have been, right?
I would assume so.
You're the headliner.
Yeah, I guess. Was it played during the baseball season?
What would your superpower be if you were a superhero?
I think there are many times in my life when I'd like to be invisible. So that would be a good one.
There's a hook that's outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Eaton.
2 outs, nobody on last inning, and the Sox put 2 across.
I'm just glad we turned Denzel Valentine into a Sox fan. It's good to see.
He's going to certainly grow into one in this city.
Strike 3 to Eaton. 4th strikeout for Nolasco.
This is a good curveball. It breaks late, and it's right there. Even though it was caught out of the strike zone, that ball came in clearly a strike. So Anderson and Eaton both strikeouts. First 2 times up, and that's the total 4 strikeouts for Nolasco.
Breaking ball fouled away. We told you that Nolasco had pitched the Sox right-handers away predominantly in that first meeting. And he's done it more often than not so far this evening.
Tried to get a fastball inside to Abreu and missed badly with it. There's another one that he misses badly with. That's not his comfort zone.
Question is, how rare is that inside pitch? He only did that 6 times in the first meeting, missing inside to a right-handed batter.
Going in there again.
Left it out over the plate, and Abreu sneaks it on through. You know, we were talking about how Nolasco pitched to those right-handers. This is from the catcher's perspective, so only 6 balls inside off the plate. Everything away.
And that time he went inside and got burned because Jose was able to bring his hands in. It's called an inside-out swing and take it to right field. So he's probably, all things being equal, he's going to stay away.
That graph thanks to the fine folks at brooksbaseball.net. Ball 1 to Frazier. Who flied out to right in the 2nd inning. Well, at some point you got to pitch inside though.
You really don't have to pitch inside for strikes. You can pitch inside for a show-me pitch just to make sure that the hitter is aware you will go in there. But his comfort zone, quite obviously, is away. And Alasko, who came to the professional leagues with the Chicago Cubs.
Shortstop Escobar down for it, and the inning is over. Sox get a single, and the Twins escape any further trouble. Sox lead after 3. Janelle running the show. He's wearing our My Head Hurts Because of Sox Math t-shirt. And if your head doesn't hurt, that's a good job at displaying it by Jeff. Here's your question tonight. Hashtag Sox Math. First correct answer wins a prize. Number of gold gloves Burley won with the Sox. Multiply the number of AAA All-Stars the Sox have this year. Subtract the smallest number the Sox have retired. And add the number of letters in the given first name of the player who wore that number. So the given first name of the player who wore the smallest number the Sox have retired. That's your Sox Math question for tonight. James Shields, a juggle job, and out number 1. Plouffe retired.
You've got to be the 5th infielder when you deliver the baseball, and that time James was able to make sure it didn't get by him. Gets it right back off the glove and the knee, but stays right with it.
He does clubs, chainsaws, and handkerchiefs as well.
He also had a fine inning in the 3rd. 2 on, nobody out, only to throw the double play ground ball. And surprisingly, Brian Dozier decided to bunt, but he bunted it right at James, who made the play easily and out of the inning.
Surprisingly for a couple of reasons, right?
Well, he's so hot that you figure he'd be swinging the bat, but he thought if he could get it on the grass toward 3rd, he'd probably be able to beat it out. Just maybe a decent idea for him, just bad execution.
Deep breath for Shields, who gave up a leadoff home run and no runs since. 2-2.
Kepler hit the ball very hard the first time up, but lined out right at Adam Eaton.
And guess what, Steve? The Indians are leading.
I know, that's a surprise. Winners of 11 in a row.
3-0 in the 7th against Atlanta.
Pretty amazing run, and in that run, they've actually hit the ball exceptionally well. Denny Salazar on the mound.
Check swing. He went around. Kepler strikes out.
Well, Kepler tried to sell it, but Sean Barber would have none of it. He's out on the front foot. The hands go way too far. And although he's trotting to first, he will trot to the dugout.
It's an easy right turn.
We ran into Eduardo on the off night. We were dining at the same restaurant. He's a very nice young man. Once property of the White Sox, traded to the Twins.
One of those flexible infielders playing shortstop tonight. And Sox and Twins fans living in harmony.
Sharing the helmet Sunday.
J.B. Shuck secures out number 3. Second 1-2-3 inning for Shields tonight. He carries a 2-1 lead into the home fourth.
Guy Jose Altuve, who's anything but little in the numbers department, hitting .357 overall. You look at the rest of the numbers, they're staggering. All he did today was go 4 for 5, drive in a run, score 4, a homer shy of the cycle, and we will see Houston in Houston for a 3-game series over the weekend. Houston has won 10 of their last 11 games. They are playing unbelievable baseball, but so are the Texas Rangers. And the Rangers coming into today led by a full 10 games over the Astros.
And they are up 6-1 on the Yankees tonight at the top of the 6th in the Bronx as Navarro lofts this ball to the right-hand side, and the Bermuda Triangle comes up with it for out number 1. Escobar makes the play.
Well, in the shift, he was able to range out toward right center field and then avoid a collision with everybody behind him and Brian Dozier in front of him.
One out for Brett Lawrie, who started the scoring for the Sox back in the 2nd inning with a solo homer. His 3rd home run of the homestand after his inside the park festivities, along with another homer during that 7-home run game for the Sox.
We take a look at the home run. With that White Sox run, E-Click Lending has donated $100 to the Pat Tillman Foundation, supporting military veterans and their families.
Look out, Joe. A little hopscotch for Super Joe McEwing.
Former infielder, shows he still has some fancy footwork, as this was a blast. And fortunately, Joe was able to get out of the way. He's not wearing shin guards. That one would have been painful.
Joe had a big hopper go over his head last night. We were talking about it before the game. I said, why do you stop that one? He says, unless it rolls to my foot, I'm not going to make the play on it. That ship has sailed.
Not anymore.
Laurie cracks it to right again. Kepler has this one for out number 2. Cruising along tonight here at U.S. Cellular Field.
Both pitchers throwing strikes, working quickly. And after a rocky start, James Shields has thrown it pretty well for the 3 innings, putting up 3 goose eggs and leading by a run.
Strike 1 to Shuck, who singled and scored back in the 2nd inning. Ricky Nolasco, whose full given name is Carlos Enrique Nolasco. His dad Emilio was a Dodger fan, so he called him Ricky because of Rick Monday.
Monday, originally drafted by the Oakland team, he was the first player ever drafted. 1965. Later became a Dodger and a Cub and a Dodger broadcaster.
City's fairly special to the younger Nolasco. He got his first major league win here in Chicago is at Wrigley Field in 2006. First of 103 so far. Wrapped to second, Brian Dozier completes the inning. 1-2-3 they go for Nolasco. 4 complete. 2-1 Sox. Burley won 3 Gold Gloves with the Sox, multiplied by 2 AAA All-Stars, Garcia and Davidson this year. Subtract the smallest number the Sox have retired, it's 2. Add the number of letters in the given first name of that player, that is Jacob Nelson Fox, Nellie Fox. The answer is 9. 3 times 2 minus 2 plus 5. I Keep Cruisin', which not only is a Twitter handle, but also a license plate, is your winner.
Very nice.
There was a game show called Bumper Stumpers that they would put up license plates like that, and they'd give you clues. You'd have to answer the question. I Keep Cruisin' should be on your car. Line to right by Kurt Suzuki, who is now 3 for 6 in the series. Sox fans, Sunday, July 24th is Strikeout Stroke Day at U.S. Cellular Field. Join the White Sox in their effort to raise awareness of stroke warning signs and the importance of acting fast. Purchase your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com/strikeoutstroke.
This is where Buxton might push a bunt. He had a 3-1 count last time and popped it straight up to Tim Anderson.
He swings away and flies it to right. Adam Eaton in fair ground for out number 1. See, you've been talking about a lot with Buxton. That's one of those moments where you kill 2 birds with 1 stone with a bunt, right? At worst, you can move the runner over.
And if he's able to do that, and you know, with his speed, he's just trying to get on base. And right now, where he is in his career, I know that they believe he's going to be a superstar. They've always had that. All the scouts around baseball rated him as highly as anybody when he came into the game. Injuries plagued him early in his career, and now he's still trying to find his way.
Well, there's a story Jim Souhan wrote in the Star Tribune yesterday about Buxton and how similar he might be to some of the guys the Twins have had come through. A.J. Pierzynski in '94, ended up in Double-A in 2000. There have been some slow developers in the Twins organization was the crux of the story. Doug Mientkiewicz, another one of those for his first 5 years, about a .230 hitter. And Buxton, at least for now, at just age 22, following that same type of path.
Obviously a long way to go, still very young. He's big, he's strong, he's going to get stronger. Last year, hit just .209 in 46 games. Shields has had some problems with Nunez. He's had a couple of hits in his 2 at-bats, continuing his red-hot pace.
He came into this series with a hit in 26 of his last 30. That has now grown to 28 of his last 32, with the 3 hits so far and 6 tries in this series. Right field, Eaton driven back, warning track wall. Eaton crashes into the fence. Nunez is hot on Suzuki's tail. Eaton throws it in, and the Twins are down a man.
That probably is not the best base running by Nunez, and the reason is that Suzuki had to hold up because he didn't know if Adam Eaton was going to catch the ball. And he actually ran Suzuki down. So Gene Glynn had no choice but to send Suzuki, even though it was clearly not the right thing to do. So Adam goes up. This one stays in the park. Then after falling into the wall, he hustles after it. But Nunez was running with his head down, did not see where Suzuki was. And Adam gets the ball in. Suzuki's hung out to dry. Not his fault. Not good base running by Nunez, and it cost him an out at the plate.
Nunez lost his hat between second and third. He was running so hard. And that's the type of thing that happens when you're 25 and 51. It's a double for Nunez. Suzuki out at the plate. Scored at 9-2 in your book.
10 assists now for Adam Eaton.
The numbers, the eye test, everything come together to suggest Gold Glove right fielder this year for Adam Eaton.
I should think so. I mean, I can't believe that anybody's playing any better in right field. He's also played very well in center field when he's had the opportunity. Looked like he crashed into the wall, and hopefully that left hand is okay.
Just checking out that finger, the pinky finger on the left hand.
But for Nunez, running with your head down and not knowing where Suzuki was the fatal flaw in that particular double.
2-2. Breaking ball in the dirt. 3 balls, 2 strikes for Grossman.
Grossman a switch hitter. And he's been much better from the right side this year, although he does have a base hit tonight.
There's a single to center before the double play last time up. 3-2. In the air right field. A leisurely play for Eaton. And that'll do it. Twins finished off in the 5th. Eaton does them in. Of sorts. See if he ends up in Syracuse and Washington, where it ends up being. Thank you, Chuck. 2-1. The Sox with the lead in the home 5th tonight with Garcia, Saladino, and Anderson on the way against Nolasco. And strike 1 to Avi Garcia, who gave the Sox this 2-1 advantage on an RBI single in the 2nd inning.
Avi hit the ball very well that first time up.
Shattered his bat this time on a sinking liner to Dozier, 1 away. Avi was trying to close the deal there and break the rest of it on bended knee. 1 down for Saladino, who bounced down to shortstop his first time up. Mentioned earlier, Melky Cabrera is out of the lineup tonight with a sprained wrist. The expectation being it's a couple of days, nothing DL worthy to this point for Melky.
Well, they were looking for him to come back after the Houston series, but great place to hit for Melky, and we'll see just how bad that wrist is. So last night he fouled one off and then dropped the bat, and you can see him shaking out that hand and wrist.
Saladino hammers this to left, and Tyler Saladino leaves the yard. It is 3-1.
5th home run of the year for Tyler Saladino. He's now driven in 19. He's able to keep a good solid stroke with not playing every day, which is not an easy thing to do. But Tyler has done it very well. Our 4th home run replay. Maybe that's why Nolasco doesn't like to throw the ball inside for right-handers. That one left the yard in a hurry. Brett Lawrie in the 2nd. And now Tyler Saladino in the 5th.
That ball smoked by Anderson, left center field up the alleyway. He's thinking 2 and easily throttles down into second base with a 1-out double.
Tim took that ball off the outside corner. It wasn't a strike. He told you how quickly the ball just shoots off his bat. The 6th double of the season. And watch it again. You see where Suzuki wants it, and Nolasco gets it right there. But good plate coverage by Tim Anderson. And even with the speed of Buxton, he cannot get to it in time, but does a nice job of cutting it off and getting it back in the infield.
Ten extra base hits for Anderson now in his time here in the majors. His rookie season at age 23, just last week, turning 23. Imagine he goes to college in Decatur, Mississippi, a town of about 2,000 people. And you go through the minors, and sometimes there are big crowds, but then you come play in the majors, go to Fenway Park, play in front of the home crowd.
And hasn't been exactly overwhelmed in doing it. But what a lively bat. It's a pleasure to see.
2-0 for Eaton, and he buckles for strike 1.
Let's take a look at the first 17 games. 4 times he's been held hitless. 1 hit 5 different times. 2 hits 7 different times. And 3 hits 1 time. So overall, a really nice start to what should be an excellent career.
Parachute to left field for Eaton. Grossman is over, and Robbie Grossman handles it well for the 2nd out of this 5th inning.
Did a nice job of taking over, and then third base was well covered. Escobar was there. Nolasco was there. So no thought of Anderson doing anything but staying right where he was. Nunez gives ground, which he should do. That's a really tough play for a third baseman.
Trying to look over the shoulder, track the ball, look out for the left fielder. Now Abreu, stopped by Suzuki.
We saw a similar play that cost Kansas City Royals 2 all-star defenders. Mike Moustakas lost for the year. Alex Gordon with a fracture of his wrist on a very similar play during a day game here earlier in the season. That one was very costly for Kansas City.
Abreu to left and foul.
That one didn't miss by much with Sean Barber on the call, just hooking at the last instant. Jose bidding to drive in number 48. Unfortunately out a little too quickly on this.
You mentioned the injury trouble for the Royals. With Lorenzo Cain on the DL, Kendrys Morales is starting in right field. First time since 2008.
Yeah, I would say that's not a great thing. He's not going to cover a whole lot of ground.
Low to Abreu. 2 balls and a strike.
Another costly injury. Zach Greinke. A play at first base where he got spun around and wrenched his back. Diamondbacks don't know if he's going to have to be disabled it's doubtful if he's going to make either of the next 2 starts. They paid a great deal of money for Greinke.
It's officially an oblique injury, I believe.
Yep. And I saw it, and it was the most unusual throw and put him in a very bad position.
Well, this isn't a great position for Nolasco. 3-1 on Abreu. Anderson at second, 2 out, and the Sox leading 3-1 in the 5th.
Jose hit the ball well the first time up, only right at Nunez at third base, and then an inside-out swing produced a base hit in the 3rd.
Line drive right field, and Kepler to record a chancy final out. Saladino, though, has a career-high 5 homers this year. This is number 5, 3-1 lead.
Minute Maid Park to open up a 4th of July weekend series against the Houston Astros. Tune in to CSN Chicago at 7 p.m. for the first pitch.
Sox will be in Houston for 3, then back home for the Yankees, an off day, and the Atlanta Braves to finish up the pre-All-Star break festivities. Followed by the post-All-Star break festivities. And then any further festivities after that. Mauer takes a strike to start the 6th.
Hit a couple of ground balls and produced 3 outs and 2 at-bats.
Won a double play. 1-6-3. To clarify, one was a double play, one was a 6-3 ground ball. The double play went 4-6-3. The ground ball went 6-3. But when I initially said it, I said 1-6-3, but it was a single 6-3 ground out along with the double play. Powerball is 55.
Speaking of that, neither of us won the Mega Millions, so we were right back here where we'd have been anyway, even if we had won it.
Yeah, the problem, I looked at the ticket that you bought me. You didn't buy the multiplier, so the best I could have done was $222 million.
Well, that's true. I mean, you
something about a gift horse.
Got to take a discount every now and then.
Strike 3, down goes Mauer. James Shields through 5 1/3 has given up just 1 run. Provide your guests with the ultimate all-inclusive White Sox experience in the Home Plate Club or Magellan Scout Seats. These 2 premium seating areas are the best way to entertain your most important clients, employees, friends, or family. For more information, call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com/premium seating. We got a chance to talk to some of the season ticket holders before the game, and they had some thoughtful questions for us.
It was really enlightening because you get a great chance to hear what the fans really think about what's going on, what they're concerned about, and a number of other things. And there was a young fan who had a really interesting question about Sox mat. He wanted to know, can you have kids' Sox mat? He hadn't really thought out the logistics of it because he didn't have the ability to have a Twitter account quite yet, I don't believe.
Yeah, he's not a young Twitterer. But you don't expect a kid to deal with logistics. I mean, he's not an industrial organizational economist or something like that.
However, he had a good idea.
Yeah, a text line for SoxMat.
Right.
For the kids who have cell phones but no Twitter account.
With your number on it.
Right field, Eaton on the charge. Lays out and can't get there. Eaton's got the ball. Eaton throws to second. Save.
Good hustle by Brian Dozier as he breaks his bat, drops it in front of Adam Eaton. It goes as a two-base hit, his first of the night. We told you about the speed and his ability to steal bases. It also comes in handy when you hit a flare off the end of the bat. Adam making a good attempt at this, trying to knock it down, keep it in front of him. It gets by just enough for Dozier to slide into second base just ahead of the throw. As usual, throws right on the money. Just not in time.
You know, it looked like the first glance from Adam Eaton was behind him for the ball, and the ball was off to the other angle as he tried to orient himself from the dive. Trevor Plouffe takes ball number 1.
Plouffe has gone right back up the middle twice. A solid single in the first inning and then right back at James Shields in the 4th inning. And that one he caught turned it into a very easy 1-3.
Strike 1 to Plouffe. Well, James Shields, those first couple of starts leading to that start at Fenway Park against a very difficult to handle Red Sox lineup. He goes 5 innings, gives up 3 earned runs, gets the Sox through 5+, and now aiming at 6 tonight.
Throwing it much better, and he was a little unhappy with himself on the last pitch. Not that fastball, but the cutter. I think he wanted it in a different spot. And even though he got the strike, he's very much a perfectionist and wanted to make a pitch on the corner. Didn't get it there, but he surprised Plouffe because it was a cutter on the first pitch.
There's the line for tonight. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts.
Pretty impressive numbers so far.
Well,
and
considering
he's got the lead.
Considering the start,
Yep.
leadoff home run, you take 5 1/3, 1 run. Catapulted to right, Adam Eaton again on the case. 2 out. Second trip in for Minnesota this year. Sox will see the Twins for the very final series of the regular season. September 30th, October 1st, and October 2nd. Last 7 games are with Tampa and Minnesota here at U.S. Cellular Field. Fastball strike to Kepler, who's lined out to right and struck out.
Couldn't check his swing, and on the appeal to Sean Barber, he got rung up. One of the most encouraging things is just 1 lone walk, that coming to Dozier in the first inning. Since then, the control by James has been good.
Popped up left side. Saladino in a hurry to watch it fly away. And 2 strikes on Kepler.
Earlier today, the Orioles won their ball game as they've been winning most of them lately. They lead the division by 5 games now, winners of 7 in a row, but they tied the all-time home run record for the month of June with the 1996 Oakland A's.
They could hit a few. There's strike 3 to Kepler. Shields has navigated 6 innings tonight, and his team holds a 3-1 advantage over Minnesota. RCN. Time for Sticks and Stone tonight. And the question is, how'd you do against Ken Landreau?
Boy, another left-hand hitter. Usually bad. I don't think I faced him that much, though, however.
Usually bad, but,
yeah,
you know, that could change.
Usually bad, that could change. I know I faced him more than one time.
Well, you got Mickey Hatcher out. You were
Hatcher.
perfect against Mickey Hatcher.
Yeah, and one at bat.
Well, you can only do what you're given. You have to play the cards dealt to you.
True. I was probably knocked out early in that game. But Kenny Landreau was a good hitter.
Frazier lifts it to left and deep. Grossman is back. He's at the wall. Frazier has left the ball yard. Number 22 for Todd.
22 and 50 on the power numbers, putting him one behind Mark Trumbo. This is a towering fly ball into the bullpen. Our Ford home run replay. It's a hanging curveball, and Todd, even though he went out on the front foot, he was able to keep his hands back long enough to lift it just over the head of Grossman, and 3 home runs as Ricky Nolasco, realizing, as so many before him have realized, this is a great place to hit.
You were just talking about the Orioles and their huge numbers this month. Trumbo hit that 23rd, as you said, today, extending the lead by 2 over everybody else. And now Frazier finishes up his dance routine with Avi Garcia.
That was their 55th home run in 27 games in the month of June. And the Orioles were on the road playing San Diego. However, the Orioles at home, a whopping 31 and 13 this year.
That includes a couple of losses to the White Sox in April and early May.
Twins pen up and going and getting ready in a hurry. It's Michael Tonkin.
One of 5 righties in that bullpen for Minnesota, and Paul Molitor, as that one just barely misses from Nolasco. 3-2 on Navarro.
There's a look at the Hall of Famer. Talk to him about this being his 2nd year and what he took forward from last year to this.
Navarro slashed to right field and past Kepler. Navarro trucks into second base with a double.
Nolasco having some problems navigating his way through the sixth, as this one was up and out over the plate, and Deanna crushed it. 3 home runs, 2 doubles. So an extra base extravaganza against Ricky Nolasco.
Anderson and Navarro at the doubles. Solo homers from Laurie, Saladino, and Frazier. And here is Brett Laurie, who's 1 for 2. Close pitch, didn't get it. Well, the career numbers are sparkling against Nolasco for Laurie at 6 for 12 all time. Off speed strike. Way inside with a fastball. 2 balls, 1 strike on Brett Laurie, with Shuck to follow and Avi Garcia in the hole. Nolasco, 4th round pick of the Cubs back in 2001. He was the 2nd pick in that 4th round. And to this point, by far the most successful of the players drafted in that 4th round. Familiar name. Picked about 5-6 selections later, Jeff Keppinger.
Nolasco had a pretty good first year. He was brought to the major leagues, never quite got there with the Cubs, traded away before he could get there with Florida. 11-11 in 2006. He had his biggest year in 2008 with the Marlins at 15-8. And some very successful years after that. Had a 13-8 year with Florida, a 14-9 year with Florida.
It's a great breaking ball to strike out Laurie, and 1 away.
Came in high, just froze him, and cut in the middle of the plate.
Hey, southpaw.
Enjoying himself.
Going in for the hug.
And we've got some southpaw memorabilia on the prize shelf. Some autographed pennants. Some buttons.
Yeah.
Lots of things.
The gnome is guarding the southpaw pennant
assiduously and vigilantly,
and with great focus as well. In the air left field, Grossman is back in the corner, and Robbie Grossman decelerates into the wall to make the catch on Shuck.
Long way to go by Grossman, and a good play. You got to keep your concentration, knowing that there's not a lot of room in foul territory. This one clearly in fair territory as Grossman goes into the side padding, comes away with the baseball.
He's played well for Minnesota since coming over from Cleveland. Now Avi Garcia, with Navarro still at second after a double following the Frazier home run. Game 3 of this series tomorrow, 1:10 start time, day baseball on getaway day. Tommy Malone for Minnesota, Carlos Rodon for the Sox, as that ball stays close enough for Navarro to hold at second. getting your All-Star votes in?
35 a day, whether I need them or not.
Voting ends tomorrow, I'm told.
Sox having some problems with getting a few people into contention. Melky got some well-deserved votes. A little surprised Adam Eaton had not been better supported.
Remember back in the old days, well, 10, 20 years ago, before the internet, you'd have certain fans just stuffing the ballot box in stadium. That was the only way you could vote. You just take the ballot and you'd sit in the crowd while you're keeping score, and you'd punch little holes on the card.
And made sure you didn't have a hanging chat.
Oh, yeah. Wow. And sometimes you'd have pen marks all over the place because you missed the thing. I mean, it's hard to clip those. You see how it happened in Florida.
Yeah.
It's hard to knock out the little chads.
It is.
2-1. Navarro at second. Check swing. He didn't go, says Conroy at first. We should, just for 1 year, don't you think they should go back to the regular balloting and have everybody poke little holes in the All-Star ballot?
No.
You don't?
No, this is much more high tech. And that's my uncle, by the way, high tech.
Yeah. I have fears that you would start poking little holes into your iPad.
I could very well get to that eventually. It's actually working very well these days.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Garcia, who drove in a run in the second inning. Sox leading on the strength of 3 solo homers and that Garcia RBI single. Frazier with one of those. Just a couple batters ago to lead off this inning.
22 home runs, 50 driven in. Great power numbers by Todd Frazier, who'd love to get that batting average up.
He said the other day, he said, I'm going to have 10 doubles and 50 homers. How does that happen?
It actually could happen. Because as it gets warmer here in July and August, the ball really flies out.
Outside, ball 4. Oh, we got an answer for you. For sticks and stone, Ken Landreau, your quarry today. He didn't do very well against you. You held him down.
Guess not. I might have released him very soon after those numbers came out.
2 on, 2 out in a meeting coming on the mound for Minnesota. There's a good little mutton chop deal going on there for Ken Landreau in the picture, by the way.
Had a nice career with the Dodgers originally, and Paul Molitor has had his say. He's going to leave Ricky Nolasco in there. Leave Michael Tonkin in the bullpen for the moment. So Paul was saying in his second year of managing, because he had never managed before, he encountered so many things last year that were new to him. And he talked about the handling of players as opposed to the strategy. He was such a smart baseball player that strategy, he knew every aspect of that. But it was the handling of players on a daily basis that if you don't have the experience in the minor leagues, it's difficult.
Third base off the glove of Nunez down the line. Saladino knocks in Navarro, and the Sox expand the lead at 5-1. Boy, Saladino has squared up a couple tonight.
That's 20 driven in, and that one just ate up Nunez. So now it'll bring Molitor out. That's going to be it for Nolasco. That is the last pitch he's going to throw, and that one hangs in the middle of the plate. So it's a breaking ball that didn't break, a one-hop rocket. Nunez went down and couldn't come up with it. So Nolasco walks off. Tonkin is going to walk in. We'll step out and be back after these messages. 2-2. His ERA 3.82, on for the 34th time. There you look at the numbers. 44 strikeouts in 37 2/3. That's awfully good. And he's going to inherit some problems. Runners at the corners. But 2 outs here in the 6th inning. Time now for our Lowe's home field advantage, and it's Tim Anderson. Here in 7 home games, including tonight. 387. 12 hits, couple of homers, a triple, 4 doubles, and 8 runs scored, and that's pretty good for home cooking.
2 on, 2 out for him against Tonkin, who is one of 2 Tonkins to play in Major League Baseball all time. And he would be the only Tonkin, if not for 1 game, from Harry Glenville Doc Tonkin of the 1907 Washington Senators.
I remember that.
Ball 1 to Anderson.
And thinking that Saladino was going to go, the pitch out to no avail. Tonkin, the brother-in-law of former Twins outfielder Jason Kubel. You might remember that left-hand hitter. Oh, he was a good one. He could really hit.
Frustrating to face.
Matt Albers. Looks like he's ready to go in the pen.
Good news about Matt is if you need to pull a Waxahachie switch, you can possibly get him to double for you later on.
He showed a magnificent bat in New York against the Mets. Running style, well, that's not so good, but he hit the ball hard.
Swing and a miss. Saladino was off, and he swipes second base. So no force out at second any longer.
Three steals for Tyler. He's having quite a night.
Fastball outside edge from Tonkin. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Anderson, who doubled last time.
Tonkin 6'7", 230.
On the ground and through. Saladino waved around. Here he comes. He scores easily, and Anderson coasts into second base. The Sox get another on the board. Garcia home as well, 7-1.
Another 2-hit night for Tim Anderson. And these are the first 2 runs he's driven in that were not courtesy of the home run. He takes it through the right side. After a couple of strikeouts, he's responded with a double and a single. Here comes Saladino after a stolen base. He scores easily, and Anderson coasts into second on the throw.
Now Eaton fouls it away, so Anderson, another multi-hit game, 2 for 4. Finally, one of those nights where the Sox get a little separation.
7 runs on 10 hits. So the guys are heating up the bats. They've always hit well against Nolasco. Tonight, no exception. And Tonkin comes in and gives up a base hit. Those runs charged in Nolasco.
So all of those, the property of the starter for the Twins, Ricky Nolasco. Smoke to center field. Anderson speeds home. This is an 8-1 ball game.
With that base hit by Adam Eaton, everybody in the starting lineup has delivered at least one hit, and that's RBI number 25. Buxton thinking for a moment that he's going to have a shot at Anderson, but cooler heads prevail and the throw is cut off.
Well, not a whole lot of reserves.
No, it's Tonkin against the world right now, and Ricky Nolasco, who had another tough outing against the Sox. All he can do is look on.
It's a 5-run inning. Abreu, the 9th batter. And he swings through a slider. So 5 2/3 for Nolasco. 9 hits, 7 runs, a walk, and 5 strikeouts.
You don't see it very often, but in less than 6 innings, everyone has at least one hit. 3 of them left the park.
After a shutout last night.
Swinging it well, and Suzuki with a good stop there. That ball was way out in front of the plate.
You mentioned the extra base hits as well. 6 hits last night, all singles for the Sox. Push foul.
Brett Laurie started off the extra base hit department with his 2-out home run in the 2nd. Then a home run and a double in the 5th. Home run and a double this inning. And the offense has come to life. That was Laurie's 11th home run of the year.
10 of those have left the ballpark.
One almost left the ballpark. And because he never stopped running, he had inside the park homer.
Ball bounced right over where the catch sign lives in left field. Not as dramatic of a play or as momentous of an occasion
as the catch.
As
no.
the catch.
Kevin Pillar, who made the effort, seemed to hurt his hand on the fence, and then nobody realized the ball was still in play.
Abreu's a foul ball machine right now. He will see an 8th pitch. Todd Frazier, who has homered already in this inning. It was a while ago. Strikeout for Abreu, but the Sox, for the 6th time this season, have 5 runs in an inning. Frazier started it. It's 8-1
Whether looking to purchase or refi, never pay lender fees with eClick Lending. Visit us online at eclicklending.com to lock in your low rate today. eClick Lending. Point, click, and save.
Easy enough.
Sounds like it.
Have you tried it?
No.
Well, you can't click. You just have the screen and then you push the button.
That's why I haven't tried it.
Wouldn't put it past you.
Well, maybe they can finance one of our dinners.
What? 7th inning. It is 8-1, and James Shields is back on to face 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Twins, starting with Escobar.
He had 83 pitches, so he should be throwing it pretty well. He's had good control tonight. He walked Dozier in the first inning. That's been it. He's had some jams, pitched his way out. And tonight, he looks better than he looked against the Red Sox, where he looked real good in that one.
What do you like tonight?
He's been very aggressive. He's kept everything in the zone. What I like about him is he's gotten ahead enough to make that straight change close enough where guys have to swing at it. And the best straight changes are always those that dip out of the zone. But if you're behind, guys just look at it. If you're ahead, they've got to swing at it. And he's gotten a few of those, too.
Speaking of looking at it, there's strike 3. 5th punch out for Shields tonight. 1 away.
See where Navarro wants it. James throws it right there. This ball drifts back over the plate. And that's been a good pitch for him.
One out. Kurt Suzuki, the hitter. Strike 1. The ever important strike 1 for Shields. Grew up on Maui, Kurt Suzuki.
Pretty good career. As a Twins pen up and going, there was the former closer, Kevin Jepson, loosening in the pen. Suzuki's always hit pretty well against the Sox.
He's out this time. Eaton for the second one here in the 7th inning. Can you imagine growing up in Maui and then coming to play baseball in Minneapolis?
I can. I went there, was offered a restaurant, went there for a week, drove around a couple times, looked at the restaurant, realized that it was very small, and boy, would I like to be playing in Minnesota. So yes, I can imagine it. Needless to say, we didn't purchase the restaurant, but I did have a nice tan when I came home.
Oh, I'm sure. On Maui, you were?
Yeah.
That's where you were?
Very nice.
How about that? 2 strikes on Buxton.
Went to Hawaii a few times to play baseball.
AAA?
Pacific Coast League, and then also a Major League spring training against the Japanese team.
Down the line past Saladino. And this is where you see the speed of Buxton as the ball is lodged underneath. And typically you throw the hands up and call for the umpire to wave it off. Nobody's done that yet, and now indeed it is waved off. The throw's coming home, and that will not count. All of that, strike it.
Well, he does manage to bang into Chris Conroy, who on the rotation was at the plate. And what has to happen is, in this case, Sean Barber, the third base umpire, has to go out and check the baseball. That forces Ron Culpa to move to third base. He's the home plate umpire. So here, it sticks underneath. Now you just throw up your hands, and that'll mean Sean Barber has to go out and take a look. When he did, he threw up his hands, and wisely, I mean, for Buxton, you stop until they tell you not to. Then you try not to run into Chris Conroy, who's the first base umpire who rotated behind the plate.
Well, they tell you to play to the whistle.
Yeah.
The other analogy is you play to the running into the umpire. James Shields, a standing ovation from humans and Southpaw. 6 2/3 for him. 8-1 Sox. Matt Albers, come on in.
Base as Albers on for the 35th time. He's 2-4. ERA touch over 5 1/4. And he's going to look into a red hot hitter. How about the Sox Hawaiian shirts? Very, very nice looking.
Were you paid for modeling the Hawaiian shirt the other day?
Oh, I really enjoyed it though. As I do Beggar's Pizza. The logo on the shirt, of course. They lay down thick, you know.
They do, as do you. They learn from the best.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed action replay, and it's Adam Eaton. Bangs into the wall and then still makes a great throw home. And because Nunez was running with his head down, didn't notice that Suzuki had to hold up, he is gunned down at the plate. Assist number 10 for Adam Eaton.
Talked about this being a rare scenario for the Sox. 42 of the 77 games entering play today have been decided by 1 or 2, including 9 of the last 12. Not so currently tonight. Nunez in the air. Adam Eaton tracks it, and the Twins are cut down in the 7th. Stretch time at U.S. Cellular Field. The Sox lead it 8-1. Sox fans, join us as the White Sox take on the Detroit Tigers Thursday, July 21st at 7:10. First 10,000 fans get a free T-shirt presented by the Village of Bedford Park. Bring your business home to Bedford Park and win big. Purchase your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. New pitchers.
New pitcher in the ball game. It's Kevin Jepson. A struggling year for him. ERA 6.28.
And Todd Frazier whacks the first pitch he sees up the alley, left center field. Frazier is into second base. A rare double for Todd Frazier. His first double since May 23rd.
Has a nice smile on his face because he doesn't get too many of these. And he reached out, got a fastball away, and drove it in the gap. So that double to go with his home run. How about that?
Gives a hit sign to the dugout. And the Frazier family taking in the ball game.
See, son, that's a double.
Mom and Dad met at Rutgers. Both athletes. Todd said, you know, when we first met, I said to my wife, my now wife, I said, you know, this is going to be tough because I'm going to be drafted right when I leave school. And she, not understanding
thought he was going
baseball,
into
thought he was going to war. That was at Todd's urging. That story was told, by the way. He said, you got to tell people that.
No, it was the other draft, the one that pays a touch better.
He's just happy to get a ball in play past somebody. Outside.
But that hasn't happened too much this year. As long as he keeps hitting him out of the park as frequently as he has, and driving in the runs as he has, he's got the team lead in that department. He's going to do okay. It's going to be a good second half for him.
Father of two, Todd Frazier, Blake and Kylie. Saw wife Jacqueline in the crowd.
You'd have to believe it's going to be a reverse of last year. Last year he had the great first half and then tailed off in the second half. This year he's going to hit a lot better in the second half.
Navarro, a long one to right and arching foul. Majestic and lovely, but foul.
It was so foul it was never fair. But I'm rooting for him. Being Larry, Layla, and Bob's pick to click. He's had a great night. Receiving, an exceptional night.
Saladino's driven in 2 and scored twice. Come on.
When he hits his home run
Give
here.
me one.
When he hits his home run here.
Give me one.
And then you realize how well he handled James Shields. I believe that you're going to come to your senses. I know that's unusual, but that's what's going to happen.
You're a pick-to-click lobbyist.
Yes. Well,
You're a glorified lobbyist at this point.
You have to do that occasionally. Lobby for your man. He is my man.
That's not how the song goes. Lobby for your man.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How does it go?
Stand by.
Oh, jeez. Really? Okay, I will. What are we going to do?
Line it to left. That's what Navarro's going to do. Frazier to third. And 2 on for the Sox here in the 7th inning.
Well, how about that? Michael Inoue loosing in the pen. By the way, I want to send out some thanks to Trish Pajak. Now, the reason I want to thank her is that she is the dental assistant for the notable Jack Ruby.
Okay.
And because I have a tendency to flip out assorted mouth appliances, in this case, an inlay. Usually it's a crown. Jack brought his gear
to the park.
To the park and cemented in the inlay before the game.
Talk about assorted mouth appliances. There's your guy right there, Brett Laurie.
And there's Jack. He is he's telling everybody. Now, as you can see, he has fingers like sausages, so I elected for Trish to do it. It was a little easier in the Bard's room to have that accomplished.
You did it where the food served?
No, we were in the back in a separate room, well lit, and Trish was kind enough to do the honors. Which
Not
is
in the
good.
kitchen, were you?
No, but we're going on the road. This is essential.
Suzuki is under attack behind the plate. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
It's a good play by Suzuki. We told you about his athleticism and the fact that he's got good movement. This breaking ball in the dirt, I'm not quite sure how he did stop that, but it hit the chest protector and nobody was able to advance.
You know, if it came up a little bit further, the good news is you get a tooth knocked out behind the plate. We've got a little dental office up here in the press box, evidently.
Trish is here.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Laurie.
And the good doctor's on the phone.
Please tell me this
Yeah.
is the first time you've had dental work done at a ballpark.
No, it's not.
What?
It's, you know, when you get to be a seasoned citizen, occasionally things just fall off you.
Here's strike 3 to Laurie. We'll leave that at that. 1 down.
His fastball down the middle. And Brett could not pull the trigger, but Ron Culpa can.
All right, we got a minute. What's the other?
No, it was another same situation where this time Jack and his son had to do the honors, and there's Jack just figuring out how to use that phone.
It's $50 for a half hour.
Times, yes.
JB Shuck takes ball 1. He's 1 for 3 with a run scored. Left field, Grossman driven back to the warning track and the wall. He's there. Frazier tags and scores. Run number 9 tonight. A sac fly for Shuck.
JB, who hit it a long way last time up last inning, this time almost gets it out of the ballpark. It's a fastball up and away. He's able to drive in his 7th, so he's had a productive night. A single, a run scored, a stolen base, and now a sacrifice fly. This is one of the very few what you would term laughers Sox have been able to enjoy this year.
Especially with your joke repertoire.
It's true.
Here is Garcia.
Just an outstanding night for James Shields as he took it into the 7th inning, went 6 2/3, gave up just 1 lone run on 8 hits. He was touched up early, and after that got out of a couple of jams. But with just 1 walk and 5 strikeouts, by far his best outing as a member of the Sox.
Avi Garcia's driven in a run. He scored a run. He's walked. And he's lined out to second base. Plays off nicely. Two and 1. Well, tonight Cleveland has won 3-0 the final in that game. Kansas City and St. Louis are still scoreless through 6.5.
Cleveland won their 12th in a row.
Javi Garcia lines it to right. And that'll do it for the 7th inning for the Sox. Anything but a root canal for the Sox offense this evening. 9-1. Pets think about, talk about, and what they do when we're not home?
Yes.
This summer, the secret is out. No more wondering. From the humans behind Despicable Me comes The Secret Life of Pets in theaters on July 8th.
I think you're that bad a guy.
Despicable Me?
Yeah.
You want to be one of the minions?
Michael Enoa comes in the ball game. On for the 5th time, his ERA 360s, a total of 5 innings. Struck out 6. And a very comfortable lead here tonight.
You know, we're talking about the AL Central and what Cleveland has done. It's the best streak for a Cleveland team since 1982, the 11 straight. Now 12 straight pushes that further along. 13 would be the franchise record. It would tie the franchise record. 14 would bust it. But we were talking about this earlier. John Morosi, the baseball writer, tweeted the other day about the playoff teams from last year. And with the advent of the wild card, the Sox on their way, 6 outs away from getting back to 500. 3 of the playoff teams from last season at the All-Star break were 2 games over 500 or worse. So there's precedent for teams that are right around this area in recent memory for turning it around later in the season and getting well above 500.
And now with the extra wild card, it makes things much more competitive. So you see Kansas City, who was in a battle with St. Louis, that game in the bottom of the 7th in St. Louis, scoreless ball game, and Detroit with our Sox right there.
Boy, you're not going to believe what happened tonight in New York. The Yankees were down, at last check, 6-1 to the Rangers.
I'm going to say they came back.
They did. They scored 6 in the 9th off of the Texas bullpen. Sam Dyson gave up 4 earned in a third of an inning. And the Yankees won. The Yankees win. Swing and a miss. Down goes Grossman, 1 away here in the 8th.
Menard's pitch tracks will show you a fastball. He got just a touch of the baseball stuck in Navarro's glove.
Youngins taking in the ball game tonight. big fans of Mr. Fields.
Is that who sponsored that team?
Strike one to Mauer, who's nothing for 3 tonight.
They don't play out of Philadelphia, do they?
Ball and a strike for Mauer.
Having a most un-Mauer-like year, hitting .264. 726 on the power numbers.
Set the ball into the shift a couple of times now. 2 out for Dozier. See your name in lights at an upcoming White Sox game. Celebrate a birthday, anniversary, and more with a scoreboard message. Proceeds benefit White Sox charities. To book your message, visit whitesox.com/scoreboard. Did you get a message for your dental assistant tonight?
I did not. I gave her the audio message.
No audio tweets tonight?
No.
From you?
I didn't.
The ship has sailed? No chance at it this evening?
Well, I figured I would do it if Brian Dozier went the distance, but he is not going to. So Danny Santana has come on to pinch hit.
Good decision by you. Scrap the audio tweet there. Santana for Dozier, who was 1 for 2 with a double and a walk.
That one got a piece of Ron Culpa, and he's got to walk that off. From the plate, off the right shoulder of Culpa.
We've been seeing a lot of that recently. Ball 3 from Inoa to Santana. With Trevor Plouffe scheduled next. Each of these teams playing with a 3-man bench. Santana, Park, and Centeno. The 3 for the Twins. And that's a 4-pitch walk to Santana.
Tonight, don't miss Sportsnet Central on CSN with Pat Boyle and Mark Shanowski. It's Chicago's premier nightly sports wrap show featuring the latest stories, game recaps, highlights, interviews, and more. Watch Sportsnet Central tonight after White Sox postgame live on CSN Chicago.
I know you've got the DVR set. You're usually up all hours of the night watching CSN programming.
I am, but no DVR yet.
You don't have a DVR?
I'm waiting for them to refine the technology before I plunge into that and make a major purchase.
You know what I hear is really starting to
8 tracks?
Starting to be developed. No, beta. Those beta tapes. They've done magic with those. Oh,
ooh,
boy.
That one hurt.
Trevor Plouffe catches one.
Boy, he got him really well. That was just below the 2.
If
wow.
you recall, and that has nothing to do with this, but back on May the 6th, there was a little bit of a fracas between the Sox and Twins. Jose Abreu was hit by Trevor May.
Yeah.
Abreu carried the bat a little bit down the line. And there was some discussion of what and where and when and how. And that was just a misfire by Inoa.
And Don Cooper coming out there to settle him down a touch. So Ron Culpa breaks it up, and we'll get back.
What do you think the message was, Steve?
Just relax, throw strikes, get the next man out. Don't worry about anything that happened before it because it ceases to exist at this point.
Ball 1 to Kepler. Here's Trevor Plouffe. You take what you have in terms of salve.
Putting a little dirt on it, and going to go get him. He will feel that one for a bit, however.
Our camera crew celebrating National Camera Day with a great shot. Trevor Plouffe at first. Two balls and a strike on Kepler, who has lined out and struck out a pair of times.
Somewhat amazingly, that was only the second time that Plouffe has gotten hit this year.
Half swing grounder and skimming over the Sox dugout. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, the Sox have quite a bit of a home schedule coming up here. We've got one more game with Minnesota. That's tomorrow at 1:10. Then on the road for a brief 3-game series. Home for 3 with the Yankees. Off day, 3 with Atlanta for a West Coast trip. And there's strike 3. A hook drops in for Kepler, and Inoa gets himself out of the 8th. 9-1 to the home half. For the Bulls, who are the targets, we'll find out. Chuck and Bill have your post game. 9-1 Sox, new pitcher for the Twins.
Buddy Boshers comes in the ball game for the 14th time. He's 2-0 with fine ERA 1.64. Danny Santana stays in the game at second base, taking over for Dozier.
And a strike from the left-hander to Saladino. Here's Santana. The Sox are aiming to win a game by more than 3 runs. for the first time since May 13th.
That's been a long run.
And in that span, there has been only one win by more than 2. Nunez on Saladino. 1 away.
It's a good play by Nunez. Time now for our White Sox upcoming schedule, brought to you by Travel Wisconsin. Plan your fun today at travelwisconsin.com. So the finale of the homestand against the Twins tomorrow. Then it's on to Houston, where the Sox face the red-hot Astros before coming back to town, and the Yankees, the resurgent Yankees, coming to town.
Resurgent just tonight.
That is their resurgence.
That's an interesting broken bat for Anderson on a swing and a miss.
No, what it was it's a thumb guard.
Thumb guard.
That just cushions that area against the vibration of the bat when he makes contact, if it's not quite as solid as he would like.
Saw something come flying off there. Eaton goes to retrieve it. Anderson tonight 2 for 4. He struck out on 6 pitches. 2 strikeouts, 6 pitches in the first and the third. Then responded with a double to left and a 2-run single to right. And strikeout number 3 tonight for Tim is the second out of the home 8th. Baseball's 2 biggest summer events are back-to-back. Home Run Derby July 11th. That's 7 p.m. Central. And the very next night, don't miss baseball's biggest stars at the 87th All-Star Game, July the 12th. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. Central.
Boucher's originally signed with the Angels. High school teammates with Craig Kimbrell. Great reliever with the Red Sox. Must have been a pretty good high school team in Huntsville, Alabama.
Probably not a whole lot of late inning offense.
I wouldn't think
against
so.
Those guys.
Very rarely do you see 2 high school teammates make it to the major leagues.
Two strikes for Eaton. Nobody on your high school team from Brush made it with you?
No. No, they did not. We didn't have a particularly good team.
No.
High school baseball in the Midwest, we had, I don't know, 30-some games scheduled. We wound up playing 24. 18 of those games were below 40 degrees. So we didn't get a lot of play in. We did get a lot of play in the gym, catching ground balls off the wood floor, pitching in a cage.
You get true bounces there?
Oh yeah, that was a delight. But it's difficult.
Eaton grounds out to Escobar. It's a 1-2-3 inning, and we will play into the 9th. Sox with a big lead at 9-1.
It's Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite, and here's our Miller Moments, and it revolves around the game of James Shields, who was absolutely brilliant tonight. He went 6 2/3. He gave up just one lone run, that the leadoff home run to Nunez. 8 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, in line for his first victory as a member of the Chicago White Sox, and well-deserved for James Shields tonight. Miller Lite, Miller Moments.
And you look at the way the game started with that leadoff home run. You're very happy at 9-1. Very happy.
Yes. Good performance as Matt Perk comes into the ball game.
There were a couple hard hit balls in that first inning.
There was, and the lone walk to Dozier, but he got out of it, and then after that, fairly smooth sailing all the way through.
Yeah, the point being, if you're James Shields mentally, you'd be well within your right as a human to think, uh-oh, here we go again, and have it snowball the wrong direction. It didn't, and he's in line for the win.
Well, the best part of what happened is he came right back after a tough first inning with a 1-2-3 second inning. And then after a couple of hits in the third, he threw what he had to throw, a double play ground ball off the bat of Joe Mauer after a couple of singles. And after that, not much going on for the Twins.
3-0. That's there. 3 balls and a strike for Escobar, who's lined out, grounded out, and struck out as Perk tries to shake off that first batter walk bugaboo that has stung him some. That's to left field and fair, right down the line, guided into the corner by Escobar. It's a leadoff double.
That fell behind 3-1. And Escobar goes down, gets a fastball, and drives it down the line. There by a few inches, and the 8th double of the season.
Those fans were caught in between of reaching over the railing and not.
Kind of like to wait for it to arrive instead of reaching over and grabbing a ball in play.
You didn't see the video, did you, of the Cardinals Mariners game from about a week ago? This is a couple days after we had the fan on the field. Guy jumped from the outfield and ran into left center in the middle of a play. There was a fly ball to left field. There's a guy on the field in the middle of the play in Seattle.
Did he make the catch?
He didn't. Although he caught something.
Did they catch him?
Uh-huh. And what people don't realize is that can turn into a felony very easily.
Yeah. It turned into a major spiking by one of the outfielders just as quickly.
Didn't get the call. 3-0 from Perk to Suzuki. Former Mariner Kurt Suzuki.
Dan Jennings just in case.
Suzuki, a native of Hawaii. Outside. Ball 4, 2 on. Nobody out. And here comes Robin Ventura. I should correct myself. Suzuki has played for a bunch of different teams. Minnesota, Oakland, Washington over the course of time. Perk with ball 4 and 2 on. Robin out to the mound.
He's made the call, and that's going to be it for Matt Perk as Dan Jennings saunters in. So as he comes in, we'll step out and be back after these messages.
Schedule an appointment at any of our 340 facilities by visiting Athletico.com/appointments. Athletico, the official physical therapy provider of the Chicago White Sox. Athletico, better for everybody.
Hyundai call to the pen is Dan Jennings. He inherits Twins at first and second. On for the 28th time. His ERA keeps shrinking. It's at 1.89.
He's having a quiet, very strong season for this Sox bullpen.
And the two top left-handers, Zach Duke, has really come on lately, thrown the ball very well, and Jennings has been throwing it pretty well most of the season. Duke's ERA has shrunk to 2.81, and he's been on 39 times.
Been the major league leader for most of the season in appearances, Zach Duke. Jennings last threw 4 days ago. He's got 2 strikes on Buxton. Strike 3. 1 down in the 9th.
Good sharp breaking slider. Inside off the plate. And Buxton, for the first time tonight, down on strikes.
Now 11 2/3 this homestand. The Sox bullpen has allowed just 2 earned runs.
It's had a resurgence.
Eduardo Nunez, who homered in the first, singled in the third, doubled in the fifth, and finally made an out in the 7th to fly out to right. Sox trailed briefly in this game 1-0 off the Nunez home run. They've scored the last 9. With the win, the Sox would go back to 500. They need 2 outs to get there. Rolled foul.
Tyler makes some friends. Young man, very happy to have a souvenir.
Never changes, the smiles you get.
One of life's great pleasures. Souvenir at the ballpark.
On the ground, Laurie at second, flips to Anderson, and a little cavalierly. Bases loaded.
Going to be E4. This one well wide of the bag.
You know, it's plays like this when you appreciate even more. And the Sox have been tremendous fielding wise this year. The Marlins infield came into today having set an MLB record with 27 straight games from that infield without an error.
That's some streak.
Oh, Sox, remember earlier this year went 2 weeks without an error as a team.
And that is error number 7. Brett Laurie.
Sox would just as soon get a ground ball and finish this puppy before the Twins can drum up some dugout support for Escobar, Suzuki, and Nunez on. Bases loaded, one down here in the ninth. Two and 0 from Jennings. Robbie Grossman's single went to center. That was against Shields in the third. One of 8 hits he allowed today. 6 2/3, 8 hits, 1 earned run. Walk and 5 strikeouts for Shields. Into right. That gets at least 1 home and only 1. 9-2 your score.
So the second hit for Grossman. He's been a much better right-hand hitter. He drives in his 16th. Takes it over the head of Laurie. And the inning rolls along.
For Joe Mauer, who has been pulled back, Juan Centeno will hit for Mauer.
This is the first time he's had an opportunity to pinch hit this year.
Centeno for Mauer. Bases loaded, 1 down. His first career home run about a month and a half ago off of Corey Kluber.
He's right on top of the plate and choking up on the bat, something you don't see a whole lot of these days.
Why do you think that is?
Guys just get used to swinging it from the bottom, trying to hit it out of the ballpark.
Two and 0. That's a strike from Jennings. 2 balls, 1 strike. This is his game. Now action in the Sox bullpen.
Threw a high fastball by him. He expanded his zone.
You'd prefer not to use anybody else.
No, you'd love to see it end here, and Centeno has grounded into a couple of double plays this year. But if Dan throws another one up there, it's going to end in a strikeout.
2-2.
Able to fight that one off and stay alive. And Nate Jones throwing in the pen.
Bet you didn't think you'd see him tonight.
I don't think he thought you'd see him tonight. But strange game.
2-2, bases loaded. Big chopper. Frazier on the run. Centeno is out. The Twins get 1. It is 9-3, but you make that trade all day long.
1 out to go. Todd has the one choice, and he takes the right choice, giving him an ear burger for his efforts. Does drive in a run, however. That is his 8th.
So Suzuki scores. Santana, after a walk, pinch hitting for Dozier, in the 8th. One more out to go. Six out of 7 batters in this 9th inning have seen ball one before strike one.
And not a great habit to get into.
Usually comes with another habit as well, nail biting.
Dan hasn't been in there for a while, and that's the one thing you worry about when a pitcher has not gone to the mound in a consequential outing, is control.
Ball and 2 strikes on Santana. Crowd rises. Sox trying to level the series. Ball and 2 strikes. Crowd was ready for a strikeout.
Almost got one. He just barely hit the top of the baseball and able to foul it off and stay alive.
We'll do 1-2 again. Jennings to Santana. 2 on, 2 out. And he hit him.
So he's been up twice in a pinch hitting role. Looked like he hit him on the hop, but he'll go to first base. It's nonetheless painful.
You know, there have been scenes in movies where alarm clocks will not stop going off, and the person who's woken up by the alarm clock throws it against the wall, then steps on it, then he hits it with the lamp, and the thing is still beeping. It's still beeping. Well, the Twins are still beeping here in the 9th.
Faint pulse, but an out to go as Don Cooper comes out, trying to suggest to Jennings that it's time to end this. Short turnaround, day game tomorrow, getaway day. Paul Molitor looking out his ball club that has not given up despite being way back coming into the 9th inning.
Now Jennings to Plouffe. Bases loaded once again. 2 down. Tying run off in the distance still. Down low.
Bases loaded, couple of grand slams,
including his first against the White Sox. First career grand slam. Free trips to first are not ideal in many scenarios, but up 9-3 in the 9th is high on the list. 1 out to go. That's a strike. Plouffe ambivalent to the strike call. Two and 1. Deep breaths all around. 3 balls and a strike on Plouffe. Ball 4. Nine, 4.
There's a whole lot of things that Robin does not want to do. But right now, the thing he doesn't want to do most is bring Nate Jones into this game. And Don Cooper wanting to see if he's ready.
So here's the scenario. The tying run is on deck at this point. So you do have one freebie essentially with Kepler.
Yes.
Jennings will face Kepler. Ball 1. Ninth batter of the inning for the Twins. Take a drink. Sox want a swig of victory here. Jennings with strike 1. Double walk, strikeout, error, single, ground out, hit by pitch, walk. Here we are. Kepler with a hit up the alleyway. 2 are home. Oh boy.
And here comes Robin, and here comes Nate Jones. As Kepler, with his first hit of the night after 3 strikeouts and a lineout, records his 15th run, batted in. Nate Jones coming into this. We will step out, breathe a deep sigh, and we'll be back after these messages. ERA 2.88, 31 strikeouts, 34 and a third, and he's going to look in at Eduardo Escobar, who will face him from the left side.
Escobar was the man who started this whole deal with a double to left field that seemed rather harmless at the time. In fact, many of these things seemed rather harmless at the time. Escobar in search of his first hit career against Nate Jones, who now has been plunged into a save situation with Plouffe at third and Kepler at second. Tying run at the plate. Ball 1. Ten batters in the inning. 1 first pitch strike. 1-1. 1-2 on Escobar. An eventful night leads to a swell from the crowd. 1 ball, 2 strikes. In the air, left field. This is it. Sox win 9-6.
Pretty tough 9th inning, and you go to your normal 8th inning man as Nate Jones picks up the save, the fireworks in the background, a lot of offensive fireworks for the Sox tonight. And at the end of the day, James Shields with his first win as a member of the Sox. James Shields was brilliant. 6 2/3, 8 hits, just 1 earned run, just 1 walk. And James Shields, the winner tonight.
Well, Supertramp suggested it that sometimes you take the long way home, and the Sox do this evening at U.S. Cellular Field. For our director, Jim Angio, producer Mike Leary, associate producer Dave Ross, tech manager Mark Harper, the executive producer is Jim Corno Jr. He's Steve Stone. I'm Jason Benetti saying so long from U.S. Cellular Field. Coming up next, Subaru Postgame Live with Chuck and Bill. Sox win it, and you've been watching Chicago White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Good night.